just think of Monica from now on. Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica.
Just Monica. Hey everyone, I'm back, but something seems to be wrong with my character file. It's almost like something or someone is corrupting it. But until I know the problem, we're gonna get started on my newest FNF ranking mod, Doki Takeover Plus. I'll be completely honest, when I first heard this OST, I thought it was just kind of okay. It wasn't all that great, but I did like it. But after a great many deal of listens, I realized something. This OST beats out Mario's Madness. That's right, I think Doki Takeover is my favorite OST of all time. And that probably won't change for a good while after many re-listens, after the first few re-listens. I just love everything this mod has to give out. And today I'm going to be ranking the entire thing. Now, I want to talk about a few things before we get started. First off, what I'm not ranking. So, I'm not ranking all 4 versions of You and Me. I'm only ranking the Monica mix because I don't want to talk about the same song 4 times with a slightly different ending. I'm also not ranking the original Bara no Yume, Your Demise, or High School Conflict. I'm also not ranking Glitcher Olds either. Let me think, there's anything else. I'm also not ranking, any D-Sides variations, so no My Streets, even though I love My Streets. However, I will be ranking the bad ending, ERB, and Data String, because they're all really good songs, and I like them all a good deal. Also, I have a few more things I want to address, but I'll address them in a minute. So, we're going to be basing FNF songs based on 3 categories. It's chromatics, it's instrumental, and its melodies. Each category will have 10 points to obtain, but you can earn more than 10 points if you have just an overall, absolutely over-the-top incredible thing going for it. This won't happen for every song, but it'll happen for a couple songs, mostly the higher ones. Now, let's explain how to get a ranking. 0 points to 3 points is a G tier. 4 to 7 points is an F tier. 8 to 11 is a D tier. 12 to 15 is C tier. 16 to 19 is B tier. 20 to 23 is A tier. 24 to 27 is S tier. 28 and 29 are S+, and everything that's 30 and above is SS. Now, with that being said, I want to address one last thing. In a lot of my videos and in my friend group, I noticed people say a lot that I rage bait because it's funny. No, I don't rage bait. These are my actual opinions. If you can't agree with my actual opinions, or you can't respect them, I'm going to ask you to please politely leave. Remember, these are just my opinions at the end of the day. They're not just facts. Well, with that out of the way, let's get started on my least favorite.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Well, Demise is my easy least favorite of the mod. Always has been, always probably will be. And unfortunately, that's due to a couple of reasons. First off is the instrumental. It's kind of just there. It's not really all that impactful. It's the best part of the song, but that's like barely saying anything with its 5. And then there's Monica and Spirit. So, why are we getting another song with these 2 again? This is the 4th time in the mod where it's Monica and Senpai. Like, why? And their chromatics are at their weakest here. It's just so boring. Both the melodies and the chromatics are at a 4 because there's just nothing I like here. It's all just either boring or bad. It's barely pushing out its C tier at the end of the day, and that's a huge shame because I really like Monika's chromatic. It's one of my favorites from the mod, but it just does not sound good here.
Put that thing back where it came from. Put that thing back where it came from. Put that thing back where it came from. Oh, so help me!
Oh boy. Constricted. This one's a little better than Dual Demise because it's not boring, so I'll give it something. Doesn't mean I really like this song, because it does share one massive issue. Well, actually it carries two issues. First of all, the instrumental it's fitting Sayori, but it's not fitting Zipper, which also, Zipper's chromatic is the worst chromatic in this entire mod, and I'm glad he's only in one song. His chromatic sucks so much, which is a shame because I really like Sayori's chromatic. It pairs super well with a lot of her songs, but not with Zipper. Yeah, I guess I'd give the chromatics a 5, solely because I guess it's okay. And I guess the melodies are also 5, and I guess so is the instrumental, so it's a perfectly fine C tier. Also, this song feels a little too short, I feel like. I don't know, it's hard to explain in words.
Why do you gotta be such a sassy Baka?
We reach songs I like now, and first up is Baka Tankman mix. Okay, this one's kind of weird for me, because for the longest time it was a C tier, but it did get a bit better. Now, let's get a few things out of the way first, starting off with the chromatics. We'll start off with Natsuki. I'll be honest, she is my least favorite of the 4 Dokis in terms of her chromatic. Like, it's not bad, but it's really not all that incredible either. It's a perfectly good chromatic. That being said, it's definitely her weakest usage, and I don't quite know why, but it just sounds wrong. And then there's Tankman, which, why Tankman exactly? Why would you choose Tankman as anybody else? I think it would have fit Kiko more fitting. Like, Tankman doesn't sound awful, but he just sounds very out of place, and it puts the chromatics at kind of a 3. That being said, the instrumental is a lot better than it was in the original Baka. Plus, most of the melodies are still there, so I guess it's something, even though they're a little bit weaker without Boyfriend and with Natsuki's altered chromatic, and with Tankman singing, but it's not bad, and I do still quite like it. So I'd give the chromatics a 3, the instrumental a 7, and the melodies a 6. Just enough to keep it in B tier, but it's a very low B tier. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Still a good song, though.
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you.
Okay, Your Reality Takeover mix is a song. I like this one, but it does have a few problems. Let's start off with the chromatics. So, similar to Dual Demise, I'm not a huge fan of the chromatics. They're a lot better than they were in Dual Demise, but still, I'm not a huge fan of the pixelated vibe they chose for Your Reality. Like, this is Your Reality. This is from the base DDLC. It just bugs me. Why is this the vibe they chose? This should look like an MC and Monica song, not a Monica and Senpai song. The melodies are all kind of weak, no offense. They're nothing I really love, and they're just okay. The instrumental is the only reason this song is keeping its B tier, to be honest. It's a really good instrumental. Like, I love this instrumental. It gives me the dating simulator vibe, plus the DDLC vibe that I love so much from this mod. Like, as much as I want to put this one in C tier, I just can't because it is beating out Baka Tankman mix, something that actually frustrates me to a heavy degree. I just think this one could have been a little better. It just, it kind of bugs me, but I do still like the song. You and Me. One of, if not, the most popular song from this entire OST. Like, people love this song to pieces. And it's bottom 5. But why exactly? Well, I have a couple issues with this song. Starting off with this first phase. Why is it 2 minutes long? Which wouldn't normally be an issue, except there is one massive flaw. It's just MC singing, and MC's chromatic is... it's kind of weak, not gonna lie. I don't really love it all that much. It's just their chromatic. Like, it's used at its best here in the entire mod, besides one other song, which we'll get to in the future, but it's just so long of MC just singing to himself, and it's so boring and has like no impact whatsoever. Like, if it was shortened down to like a minute, I could like this part, but it's sadly not, and it's throwing the song down by a point, which is such a disappointment because this first half is kind of good, but it goes on for too long. If it was shorter, I would like it more. And then there's the big gimmick of the entire song, being able to choose your own Doki. Due to the polls, I selected Natsuki for this one, and oh boy. Natsuki's chromatic is at its second weakest tier. I think it's a little better than Baka Tankman mix, but it's really not by all that much, and this is easily my least favorite of the You and Me's. Well, that being said, no You and Me got over B tier, but that's just a personal take of mine. The melodies are all pretty catchy, I'll give them that much. I like all the melodies in this part. Something I like from this mod is how much they use the DDLC soundtrack, and all the references are pretty nice, even though I think Natsuki could have had a couple more. And the instrumental is the best part of the entire song, not even a question. I love the vibe it gives out, but it just sadly is not beating anything else out from this mod, which is a shame because I know a lot of people love this song, but I just don't. I've tried to like this one, but it just does not hit with me. Drinks on Me. This one's similar to You and Me and how popular it is, but this one's not quite as popular. Although, that being said, I think it's kind of overrated. Like, it has a lot of good elements in it, starting with Jill's chromatic. Her chromatic is fine, I don't love it, but I also don't dislike it. It's a perfectly good chromatic. And then there's the instrumental. The instrumental is, again, good, with the melodies all also being really good. There's nothing about this song I actively dislike, but there's something I absolutely love. So it's the perfect textbook definition of a B tier. I guess there is... I don't know if there's much else to say about this song. I guess the ending is kind of nice, but that's really it. I'm kind of grasping at straws here. This one doesn't have much to talk about. It's just a perfectly good song. Here it is, the final B tier of the mod, and it's Poems and Thorns. I just think the song was kind of boring until I started really liking this one. Well, not really liking it, but I just started liking it a solid chunk. Let's go with my positives first. Starting off with the melodies. They're all pretty catchy, and I like how all of them sound. There's nothing that really stands out to me as amazing. They're all just really good. The instrumental is nice and bouncy, something I was kind of expecting from Senpai and a little bit from Monica. Their chromatics are fine, because I still don't really care for Senpai's chromatic, and Monica's chromatic is a little different than her usual one. Her usual pixelated one, anyway. Now, time for the song's issue. In the past, I called this one a discount Bara no Yume, and I left it at that. Nowadays, that's wrong of me to think that, but it does really remind me of Bara no Yume, which, that's weird to me. Why does it do that? It's not necessarily a bad thing, but something that just kind of irks me, and it's keeping this one out of A tier. Like, I like this one, but it just is not A tier material, and I'm sorry.
And I know you're happy now, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world.
Our first A tier of the mod, and it's neat. No offense, when I first heard neat, I thought it was just a very boring and generic song, and I had like no appreciation for it in the slightest. I guess that's due to a few things, but there is quite a bit of positivity first. Starting off with MC's chromatic. It's the weakest usage of it, but it's still a really good use of his chromatic. It's weaker than Natsuki's, but still a pretty good chromatic. It's solid enough. The melodies are all pretty catchy. There's not a single one I dislike. They're all amazing. Especially this middle section, just super catchy. Makes me want to snap my fingers a bit. That being said, I have a small issue with this song. I think its instrumental is kind of weak in parts. Although there is some really good DDLC references. Something I don't think I've mentioned yet about this mod is that they take the DDLC motifs and they use it in almost every single song, and it's good in every time they use it. There's not a single time I dislike it. That being said, Neat is one of the weaker usages of it, but it's still a really good song, and I really like Neat. Titular MC Mix. This one's actually really good. It's a lot better in my eyes than the OG titular, mostly due to a couple reasons. Starting off with MC's chromatic, it's not used to the best here, but it is pretty catchy. Something that I like is that MC and Henry Stickmin have really similar chromatics. I definitely prefer MC's chromatic a little bit more than Henry Stickmin's, but it is still a catchy chromatic. The instrumental is really similar to the original, which is funny because almost every festival song has a slightly different instrumental, but this one seems almost identical. That's not a bad thing, because I really did like Titular's bass instrumental. Now, that being said, I do have a small issue with this song. You see, in the original Titular, there was this Megalovania reference that I really liked, but they take it out here and replace it with some DDLC motif that I'm not exactly sure that's what that is. It's not bad, but the Megalovania one was just a lot more funny. That being said, it's my only issue with the song, because right after the reference, everything else is just amazing. Like, I can't put this one S tier because it doesn't give me S tier vibes the entire way through. Only around the ending does it give me those vibes. It's still a really good song, however, and I definitely vibe with this one. It's funny that actually that 3 MC songs were back to back to back. That's what happens when MC's the titular character of the mod. Get it?
Never cheated on my wife.
Okay, first up for Monica being unpixelated is Reconciliation. I really like this one. It's super underrated, and I really do not see why. To be fair, I was in this camp for a while that I thought it was just a kind of mid song. I've definitely grown out of that camp, and it's become a really good song. It's super catchy. Start off the instrumental, it's solid. It's not amazing, but it's a perfectly good instrumental. I like it. The melodies are all about the same with the instrumental. They're not bad melodies. Again, they're just good melodies. Nothing I absolutely love, nothing that I absolutely hate either. It's just plain and simple. That's pretty nice. Monica's chromatic is also really good. It's tied with Yuri's for my favorite of the mod. And it's really good. It's actually incredible. I really like Monica's chromatic. And while it's the weakest use of her chromatic when she's not pixelated, it's still used very well. But I have an issue with the song. I think it's a little repetitive. Like, it's not awful, but it irks me enough to where I have to call it bottom 10 of the mod. Still a really good song, but just can't put any higher. ERB is somehow one of the better songs in this mod. That's just kind of funny to me, because this is literally just the Goku vs. Superman rap battles from Eminem. I usually don't care for Eminem's stuff, but I'll make an exception here. It's that good. Everything here is just really good. There's not a single issue with this song. Well, that's not true. I have one small issue. I think Sayori's parts are not as good as Boyfriend sections. Like, they're still really good, but I don't know. I just don't think they're as good as Boyfriend section. Which is like, I don't really like Goku much at all. So it's funny that Goku's section is the one I like more. And that's what happens with some songs. I don't like them, but they have good songs.
Don't lecture me about fights, you can't coward. You got your ass beat by a bat with no powers. There's only one way that this battle's gonna end. One more Superman who's never gonna walk again.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Alright, Baka is a pretty good song. I'll give it respect. I really like this one. It's definitely a lot better than when I first heard Baka, when I thought it was just kind of boring. Nowadays, I see it a lot better. And granted, the first, 20 seconds is not really interesting, but it does kick up really good after a while. The instrumental is super catchy throughout the entire way through. It's probably my favorite part of the entire song. That's not even a question. Natsuki's chromatic is not used the greatest. It's used fine. I think it fits her personality. But fitting and sounding good are two different things, and I'm afraid it only does the first. That being said, I have a small issue with the song. It kind of feels a little repetitive after a while, which is weird because the song's only 2 minutes. Which also, this is the longest Natsuki song out there. No, I'm not counting You and Me Natsuki Mix as a Natsuki song, and even if I was, when Natsuki enters, it's still not longer than Baka. Why is Baka the longest one? Also, something else that irks me about this one is the fact that it kind of dies down for 10 seconds, then just ramps back up. Which doesn't really make all that much sense. Is it bad? No. It's got some really catchy melodies in the song. It just is not a song I would say is amazing. Just a really good song with a few small problems.
Please, Chari, just know how much I love you. I love you so much that I even touch myself with the pen I stole from you.
Okay, first up is Obsession for Yuri songs, and it's a really good song. This one just gets so much hate that I do not understand why this song gets so much freaking hate. This first half is actually beautiful. It fits Yuri so well. It's deep breaths, but cranked up to a 10. Yuri's chromatic is also the best in the entire mod, and you won't change my mind on that. I really like Yuri's chromatic throughout the entire mod, every performance. And while it's definitely her weakest usage, it's still a really, really good usage. And in the background, you can ever so slightly hear some of We Act 2's melodies, and it is just so creepy. It's beautiful. So why isn't the song higher? Well, everyone knows this part. After Yuri's Markov notes are... This part right here does not hold up as well as Phase 1 did, really. It just feels kind of boring. It has my favorite part in it, but still, it does slightly irk me at how beautiful the first half was, and the second half just bangs. It's not a bad second half, and I have grown accustomed to it, but I just feel why was this the path they chose? And I get it, they're trying to show Yuri's yandere side, but this is not the way I would have gone. It's still a really good song, but definitely could use a few tiny changes.
Blue skies turn to gray now, my eyes turn to rain clouds.
Rain Clouds, Sayori's introduction to the mod, and it's really good, not gonna lie. I see a lot of people say Rain Clouds is kind of just boring and okay. I could not disagree with you anymore. This song is super catchy and really fits Sayori's happy side really well. Sayori's chromatic is a little weak here. I don't know why, but I just don't think it's used to the best. The instrumental is super bouncy and happy, which I guess really fits Sayori, and I like all the melodies. So why isn't it higher? I don't know. I think this one is just the standard definition of an A tier. It's a really good A tier, but I don't think I'd call this one an S tier. It's a perfectly really good song, but it's not amazing or anything.
SpongeBob, I have a confession to make.
You're bald?
No, I'm not bald!
My confession is basically just a slightly better version of Rain Clouds in my eyes. It's got a lot of good things, but unlike Rain Clouds, it has one tiny little issue. Let's get to my positives first. First of all, Sayori's chromatic is still used really well here. The instrumental is also really, really good. I cannot stress how good this instrumental is. It is just beautiful. The melodies are a little bit better than in Rain Clouds. That being said, I think they do have a small issue. Around the 2/3 of the song, there's, the little depression moments, and the song kind of just loops right back around, and that's kind of a shame. Like, it still sounds good, but I just think it could have been something fresh, That being said, it's still a really good melody, and I wouldn't change much about this song, except maybe make it a little longer and add a few extra melodies, but still a really good song. Don't get me wrong, I still love this one quite a bit. Just not S tier.
Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere.
That's sexist.
Boy. Lovin' Funkin' Pico Mix is certainly a downgrade from the original Lovin' Funkin'. Granted, it's not a massive downgrade, I still really like this song, but it's got some flaws. Let's start with the instrumental. It's not bad, I do still really like it, but it's a definite downgrade than the original instrumental, being all bouncy and happy. And then there's Pico. I don't like his chromatic in this song much at all. Also, why Pico? Why couldn't she like Nene or somebody else? Somebody's like a girl that would have fit the atmosphere a little more, and, wouldn't have felt out of place. Sayori's chromatic is good. Natsuki sounds like she did in Baka Tankman, so that's back. But I will give credit, Yuri and Monica still sound really good. They sound on par with their original Lovin' Funkin', with Monica sounding a little bit better, which I will give total props to. And all the melodies are still there, even though I think Pico's freestyling does slightly butcher it a little bit. But again, the instrumental is so good, and all the catchy melodies are still there, and I guess a couple of Pico's added melodies aren't awful. I just think this song had a bit of work to do, and I just don't quite think they executed to the best of their replayability. If the song was maybe not a Pico mix and more like a Spooky Kids or maybe a Nene mix, I'd like it a bit more. It's still a really good song, but it does have issues.
How long is this going to take?
Okay, to end off the A tiers, we have Libertina. You know, when I first saw and heard Libertina, I had no idea who this character was. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't from Doki Doki Literature Club. Who is this character? Then I did some research and I figured out, oh wait, that's that person who's going to be coming in the new possible game that's coming out for Team Salvato. So immediately I was intrigued after figuring that news. I was like, okay, maybe this would be like a really cool song. We're doing like a collaboration between Project Libertina and Doki Doki Literature Club, right? Well, no, we don't get that. We just get a song with Libertina. Now, start off the bat, Libertina's chromatic is really, really good. I think it rivals Yuri's chromatic at some point, which is saying something. Because you all know how much I really love Yuri's chromatic. The instrumental is super catchy the entire way through. There's not a single part of it I don't like. It's all the way good. The melodies are all super catchy. They're all pretty nice. So, textbook definition of an S tier, right? But we're still in A tier. So, what's the problem? Well, I've got a couple issues. For one, the opening takes way too long to get started. Like, it's 40 minutes just the instrumental. And usually I don't mind that a ton, but 40 minutes, 40 seconds, pushing it a little bit. Like, you could have shortened down like 20 or something. Also, similar to You and Me, it's just a solo act for Libertina. And I get it, they couldn't include anybody else because we have no idea what Project Libertina is going to be yet. But it could have been like a Doki or something that would have made it a little more interesting. Which only makes it worse by the fact that this song is 5 minutes long. Like, why 5 minutes? Why couldn't it like 3 or something? Although, to be fair, there wasn't H's because everything else is just amazing. But those 3 issues are what's keeping this song down in A tier. Now, something else I want to mention is that this song kind of gives me, how do I say this? So, who makes a lot of good mods, Doki Doki Takeover, Flavor Rave, and the Sonic Forces mod. Yeah, this song reminds me of one of those songs from Sonic Forces. Most notably, Phantom and Ruby Insanities. It's very similar around the middle part. Doesn't affect the ranking, but I think it's just a super cool thing to point out. Also, the ending is really good. It's my favorite part of the song, that's not even a question. This would totally be an S tier if it was just a little shorter, and maybe wasn't a solo act, but again, it's still a really good song. I do really like it.
Unlike normal breathing, deep breathing can help us slow down and pay attention to our bodies.
Deep breaths. Yuri's introduction to the mod, and the second time we're talking about her so far. That was a pretty big gap. A low A tier to a pretty low S tier. I really like the song, like quite a bit. It's got a lot of good things going for it. First of all, Yuri's chromatic. While one of her weaker usages, I think it's still used very well. But the real star of the show here is Boyfriend. He's got some kind of custom chromatic, and I really like how it sounds. Why couldn't they use this chromatic the entire mod? That kind of boggles my mind. It's a really, really incredible chromatic. The instrumental is also really good too. I don't think it's quite as good as the chromatics, but it is still really good. Now, there is a small issue with this song. Well, not issue, it's more of a downside. The melodies, well, I think they're all good. Nothing really sticks out to me except one part in the middle really sticks out to me, and I guess the intro kind of sticks out, but that's really it. I don't know, there's not that much to say on this song. It's an amazing song and a low S tier, but I don't know, this one just is kind of weird to talk about. Still an amazing song, but I definitely prefer the remaining 23 that we've got in this OST. But still, an amazing intro for Yuri, and I could not have asked for more from my favorite Doki. Joyride. This is basically just Rain Clouds and My Confession, but like 10 times more bouncy. Like, it is just super catchy to listen to this song. Starting off with the positives, let's talk about the chromatics. Sayori's used really, really well here. Definitely one of the best uses of the chromatic in the entire mod. And then there's Monica. She's got this kind of custom chromatic, which she also uses in Hot Air Balloon, which we'll get to that later. And it sounds really good, even better than her default chromatic, which, while is amazing, does not compare to this chromatic in the slightest. This one is just leagues better, and I wish it was her default chromatic. Again, I don't hate her old chromatic, but I just prefer this one. The melodies are all super catchy, there's not a single one I dislike. So, why isn't this song higher? To be honest, it's this pause point right here. I really just don't care for it, and I think it's not long, but it's dragging the song down just a little bit too much, and that's a shame because this song would totally be higher if it was not for that pause point. Because after that, we get into more Doki Literature Club references, and they all sound really good. I don't know, this one's just kind of weird to talk about. It also feels kind of short. Like, only 2 minutes and 30 seconds is... I don't know, I thought this one should have been a little longer. Just a little bit. But it is still an amazing song that I do vibe with all the way through every time. Just, if the pause wasn't there, it might be higher, a higher S, but I don't think this would ever do for an S plus or even an SS.
That does look pretty cool. See? It's not like baking is just about following instructions. The presentation is where you get to be creative and have the most fun.
Hey, sweets! The introduction to Natsuki in the mod, and in my eyes, this is one of her better songs out there. And when I say better, I mean better uses of her chromatic. Seriously, how is her chromatic sound this good in her intro song? That actually baffles me. Come to think, that's probably why I don't like her chromatic all that much, because the first usage was just so incredible, and then everything else was just like a lot weaker. Like, it's still a really good chromatic. And all the melodies are beautiful, especially around the middle with the DDLC reference. It is just beautiful to listen to on the ears, and it's incredible. So, why isn't the song higher? I have two reasons. One, it's still kind of short. It's not even 2 minutes, which I can understand that. Natsuki gets the short songs. But still, after the amazing middle, it does kind of just die down, and then it just goes right back into what the beginning was. And while I'm not conflicted to that, it is a lot weaker. It does sound really good. It's just nowhere near as incredible as the middle was. And it kind of frustrates me, because if the ending was a little bit better, I'd consider putting this one an S+. Maybe not SS, but this is still an amazing song that I do vibe with all the time. And then, of course, there's the funny at the end. That really fits Natsuki's tsundere character. I love this song.
Please help us.
英語話せるわけねえじゃねえか、外人のバカ。迷子になれ。
Alright, Baro no Yume. Before we get started, I want to say two things. One, I don't approve anything that Jackie did at all. They made some good songs, but I don't approve what they did the slightest. Two, this is a ginormous upgrade than what we got in V1. V1 was slow, boring, lifeless, monotone. And this version is just a massive upgrade. It's hilarious. It's beautiful how much this sounds. Monica no longer sounds choppy, which the same can also apply to Boyfriend. Yay, they both got their chromatics fixed. The instrumental is also super good the entire way through. There's not a single part of it I dislike. So why isn't the song higher? Two reasons. One, Senpai. I still don't like his chromatic, and while it's probably used to one of the best in the entire mod, it is still kind of weak. Two, this song feels kind of repetitive after a little while. I don't know why it's 3 different chromatics, but I also don't feel like Monica and Senpai really clash that well. They feel like they have little synergy when they're trying to duet with each other, which really does not work on a song like Bara no Yume. I think it should have been like, I don't know, something like Pasta Night, but not like this. I don't think this fits all that well. Still, this is a really good song, and can I just talk about for a second how hard this ending goes? It's just so ominous and so beautiful that I just cannot get it out of my head. It is just that good. Just not a song I would think that made it into the top 20. It was really close, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I just could not put a top 20.
Singing is much nicer than what I thought. It's a nice alternative means to release my emotions.
Shrinking Violet! Oh, my favorite song in the mod. I love this one. This instrumental is angelic and heavenly. The opening is peak. And now let's talk about my praises. First of all, I love how Yuri sounds in this one. Her chromatic is just perfect. Just perfect. Monica also sounds great. I like all the chromatics in this mod. Oh boy. Yeah, I enjoy this song so much. Heck, I even have it on my playlist in case I want to listen to it from time to time. I just have nothing to say. This song is just perfect. Just perfect. Anyways, back to you, Eternal. And thank you for letting me talk about this peak right here.
Hello everybody, it is I, MJ, once again invading another one of this person's little rankings. I'm going to be talking about Wilted. God, I love this song so much, man. The instrumental is like one of the best in the mod. It is very swanky and it's got that swing, baby, it's got that swing. And Jesus Christ, Senpai just carries the hell of the song. Like, I love Monica's chromatic in the song, but Senpai just carries it. The dynamic in this song is very fun, and the story it tells is just fun also. Senpai trying to show off his new skills of coding by changing the art styles of both of them, and Monica getting annoyed and saying, hey, listen here, and then changing them both back, and also him getting pissed at some points, and that changing the name of his file to Hating Simulator. It's such fun details, man. And then at the end where when she closed the tab and says, and then Senpai just sighs. I like how Senpai genuinely wants to be together with her, not out of pettiness, but out of actual love for her, which is very kind of cute, honestly. Do I ship them? I don't know. But look, this just tells such a fun story, and I really like it. The song itself is just really fun too. Like I said, it gives that swing vibe. I just really like the song. I don't have a lot to say about it, but it's still a really fun song. Nothing more and nothing less.
I agree with almost everything MJ said. I do. However, I think it has one flaw he missed out on. With Monica and Senpai, they feel very messy when they're singing together. I feel like they're each singing their own different track. And that just bugs me a little bit. It doesn't bug me enough to throw it in A tier, but it does slightly irk me enough to say this song is very close to Baru no Yume. That being said, I did for Baru no Yume, and thanks again for being here, MJ. I appreciate it.
High School Conflict, the first song in the entire mod, and it is a huge improvement than V1. Like, that's not even kidding. I had V1 in F tier, and it's actually funny how an F tier rose up to an S tier. Everything's been improved. The instrumental isn't boring and flat anymore. It's super bouncy and fun, and I love every single aspect of it. Monica sounds so much better than she did in the original. She was flat in the original. She feels she has life somehow, which is nice. Which also can apply to Boyfriend. He's got a lot more life in this one. All the melodies are super good. Even the pause point around this section is not all that bad because the initial does still sound pretty catchy. So why is the song not higher? Well, as much as I love this song, I just don't think it's better than anything else we've yet to talk about yet. Like, don't get me wrong, it's better than the last few songs that we have ranked, but for the remaining 17 songs, I just feel like this one wasn't beating them out, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I love this song, and there's a remix for it made by Cherry that isn't SS, and I'm so mad they didn't use that. Please that remix is kind of new. But still, this song is amazing, and I love it to pieces. If you don't love it, I can totally understand that, but I don't have any issues with this song, like, at all. It's the perfect intro for the mod. This is what got me into the mod in the first place. It's just so beautiful. How do you turn an F tier into an S tier? That boggles my mind, but I'm glad they did. It made me love this mod all the more. Jeez, I love High School Conflict. You know, back when this mod first came out as just the base Doki Takeover, Epiphany was one of, if not the most popular song from this mod. And although it's very clearly worn out its welcome, I still think it's an amazing song. Let's go through my positives first. First off, I like the instrumental. It really gives me Act 3 vibes, and I really like that. I think that's a really smart idea. The melodies are all pretty catchy. There's not a single melody I dislike, especially from Boyfriend. Boyfriend is carrying the song so hard. Because I do see one tiny nitpick with this version. It's Monica. Her chromatic wasn't built to go this fast, and it makes this song feel kind of rushed, and I don't really love that all that much. Unlike other songs where Monica's playing out a faster chromatic, this is, in my eyes, the weakest usage. That being said, it's my only issue with the song. Everything else is really good to just amazing. It's Monica's chromatic wasn't this fast. I might put this one S+, but that's how it goes. Then we have Epiphany with lyrics. This one's, in my eyes, slightly better than OG Epiphany, which is funny because I really do not like Juno Games stuff, like, much at all. Like, sure, the dude's made some good stuff, but then he made All-Stars with lyrics, and I have no respect for that song. Now, with Epiphany with lyrics, I think it's done pretty well. Again, instrumental is beautiful. I want to get that clear again. It's a beautiful instrumental. The melodies, again, Boyfriend's got the same melodies, and I think all of Monica's lyrics are sung beautifully. Seriously. Camellia, I think that's her name, she knows what she's doing with her Monica voice. However, it's kind of the same issue here. She's singing too fast, and it's hard to make her out sometimes, which, you know, maybe that wouldn't be a problem. I'm throwing it more on the original Epiphany's fault than I am on Juno's fault, but still, he could have slowed it down a tiny bit because it's hard to sing along with her. It kind of reminds me of Knuckles' section from Triple Trouble with Juno stuff. That being said, I do love both Epiphanies, but if I was to choose one, it would probably be the original, and they're both really close together.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
I don't really have all that much to say on data streams, so I'm just gonna make this kind of fast. For starters, I really like data stream. I want to make that very clear right now. I really, really, really like data stream. It's a beautiful song. Even though it's not technically part of the bad ending, it's too good not to include in this ranking, and I love it too much just not to include it, so I figured, why not, let's just throw it in. And that's due to quite a lot of positivity. The instrumental is beautiful the entire way through, and I really like how Monica sounds. Boyfriend sounds alright too, and I think all the melodies are catchy. In my eyes, it's just a better Epiphany. However, it does share the same issue as Epiphany, the fact that Monica's chromatic is a little too fast. It's not as bad as it is in Epiphany, but it is bad enough that I'm ranking the song as low as I am and not any higher, which is kind of a disappointment. Also, fun little fact, this is why I've listened to the least out of the OST, and that's because I recently learned of its existence about 3 months ago. But still, that doesn't stop me from loving the song. I would just be lying if I said it was stronger than anything else we get to talk about.
I can't seem to get happy.
Stagnant. This one's quite interesting to me, because Stagnant has always been the weakest of 3 bad ending songs. Like, that's always been a given. It's the weakest between it, Home, and Markov. But even then, I do still quite love this one. This one, in my eyes, shows the depression state of Sayori better than Natsuki's blank state or Yuri's obsession traits. I think it's just beautiful the entire way through. However, song-wise, I think it has a teeny issue. In the first half, when Sayori's depressed, her chromatic goes to really slow, and look, I'll be honest, Sayori's chromatic does not work going that slow. It's kind of the opposite of Monica's chromatic from Data Stream and Epiphany, where it was too fast, but this time it's too slow. I guess it's not awful, and I do still, to an extent, like it, and I guess Boyfriend is carrying the melodies himself quite well. The instrumental is also beautiful the entire way through. I love the instrumental the entire way through. It's just that good. And then there's the melodies, which, when Sayori does the little happy message, they just start really kicking up. Like, they were already amazing in the first half, but they just
Oh yeah, they pop. Oh, that is how good these melodies sound. They're just so freaking beautiful. I cannot put this in words how happy this song makes me whenever time I hear it. It just is a beautiful masterpiece. And again, I'm not ranking this one higher because I think the first half, well, I thought it was amazing, was the weakest section, and I still just don't love Sayori's chromatic being that slow. But even then, this song is just beautiful the entire way through. If you don't love stagnant, I could totally see why somebody would not like stagnant. However, I just love this one too much not to rank it any lower. Again, this isn't any higher because I think everything else was just kind of stronger. Fight is quite the interesting song in this OST. It's the only song in this mod that features Yuri and Natsuki against each other, which you gotta admit is really cool. Matt Money may not have worked on many songs for this OST, but every one that he did was a banger, and Catfight is no exception. While it took its time to grow on me, I'm glad that it has because it's just that darn good. There's a lot of things good here, but to start, let's get my one big issue out of the way here. Surprisingly, it's not Natsuki, it's actually Yuri who has the issue. I don't know why, but sometimes I do not care for her fast chromatic, how it sounds. Like, sometimes it sounds good, but in some parts around the middle, I don't care for how it sounds. It sounds beautifully in the beginning and the end, though. Those are beautiful. Okay, Christmas, let's get everything else I like about this song. Number one, I love how Natsuki sounds here. She pairs so well with the instrumental. This is one of her best usages, easily, and she is carrying this song. Number two, I like how Yuri sounds, again, in the beginning and ending. She sounds really good. Number three, I love this instrumental. Matt Money knows what he's doing with instrumentals. Just like Churgany Gurgany in his hit single. They are just so good, their instrumentals. The melodies are all pretty catchy the entire way through. There's not a single one I dislike, except a couple from Yuri in the middle, but again, I've made that pretty clear. And then the part where Sayori hops in for a second is kind of funny. It's the weakest part of the song, but it's still pretty darn good. But I like Catfight quite a bit. However, I just was not keen to rank it any higher because I think the remaining 12 songs were all just perfect or very close to perfect in some way, and I think Catfight is just too big of an issue to rank any higher than where it was. I still like this song quite a bit, and if you love this one, I can totally see that. Just not exactly my cup of tea.
There is a reason why I think the festival is the best week in all of Friday Night Funkin' mods. There is not a single song in this week that is below SS. And Beethoven is the first of many. I really, really love Beethoven. It took its time to grow on me to an SS, but now that it has, I'm glad that it did because I love every aspect of this song. Natsuki's chromatic is used very well. It's one of the better usages for chromatic, which is nice. The instrumental is super bouncy and clappy. I'm snapping my fingers on this one. There's not a single part of it I dislike. It is all just a bop. And all the melodies are beautiful too. So why is it on the top 10? Well, I do have a teeny little issue with this song. Remember I said back in my confession that I didn't like how it just kind of looped back around? That kind of applies here, but I think it's used a lot better here, and I don't hate it nearly as much as I did in my confession. That being said, it is what's keeping the song out of the top 10, but even then, I still love Beethoven. Seriously, how is the festival this good of a week? It's all just beautiful. And again, while Beethoven is the weakest, it's still a pretty damn good SS. And I will die on that hill. It is that good. You know, it's kind of funny to me that out of Baka Tankman mix, Love and Funkin' Hiko mix, and Shrinking Violet Spooky Kids mix, Shrinking Violet Spooky Kids mix was the only remix I thought better than the original. I guess that's not saying much considering how much I really did not care for Baka Tankman mix, and I just didn't like Hiko's performance in Love and Funkin'. But here, oh yeah, no, the Spooky Kids work real well. Spin pump sound beautiful throughout this entire song. I think at some points they sound better than Monica ever did in Shrinking Violet. When I say some points, I mean most of the song. Also, can I just see how cute their designs are for a second? Again, art doesn't affect my ranking, but their designs are just so freaking adorable. It's just, they're so cute. And then there's Yuri, who, I'll be honest, I like how her chromatic sounds. It's slightly altered than her usual one, which I do like. So yeah, real good Shrinking Violet mix. The chromatic I love, and you made it even better. The melodies are all super catchy and happy and bouncy. In fact, I think these two were both on like a Sayori song just as well as a Yuri song. But still, what we got was beautiful. And then we get to what is easily the best part of the entire song. When the Spooky Kids do the Spooky Kids, they just sound so darn good here. Like, it's not even a question. I love this beat drop. It is fire, and it is what finalized the song to be an SS.
here we have Hot Air Balloon. I'll be honest, this song has grown on me quite well. I really, really love this song in every single aspect. Let's start with the best part of the entire song. Monika's chromatic from Joyride is back, and it sounds better than ever. It pairs really well with Natsuki, a lot better than it did with Joyride, and especially with instrumental. Literal is definitely the weakest point of the song. It is still an incredible instrumental, and it is beautiful the entire way through. It is just that darn good, and the melodies are all that and more. So why is the song not higher? You know what? I don't really know why. You see, when choosing the top 10, besides the top 4, everything else was incredibly difficult to place. I mean that. Everything was so close together, it actually hurt to put some stuff lower. But after going through everything, I did unfortunately come to a realization that Hot Air Balloon was the weakest. Look, again, I love this song to pieces, and it is a beautiful song, but I could not put it higher than anything else that we have on this list. It breaks my heart so much, but I just can't, you know? There are a lot of catchy melodies here, but no, I could not put it higher than number 10. The other 9 were just slightly better than the day. And again, I'm saddened, but I do still love this song, and it gets better with every single listen.
Girlfriend pegs boyfriend.
Lovin' Funkin' OG mix. You know, I really was not expecting this song to get as high as it was on my very first re-listen of the mod, but now that it has, I'm glad that it did. Let's start with the easy best part of the entire song. Girlfriend's custom chromatic is beautiful. This rivals the one she had in Infernal Bout, and you guys already know how much I love that chromatic. All the Dokis sound really good here. They don't sound anything short of incredible, even Natsuki, even though we'll get to my issue with them later. The instrumental is also beautiful. It is just smooth, especially during the poem part. I mean, I cannot say how much that part is just incredible. All the Dokis, again, sound at one of their best here, with Yuri easily taking the show. However, this song does have a tiny issue. The problem is Natsuki. I think she's getting way too much screen time. In fact, I looked it up. When comparing all the Doki's singing time, I feel like Natsuki has the most. And you know what? I can kind of get that. It's not a giant issue, and it's not dragging the song down. But it is unfortunately what is making me rank it at number 9 and not anything higher. If Natsuki got a little less time to sing, and maybe Yuri and Monika got a bit more time, but they don't ever get time to sing. One time in the poem section, and one time afterwards. I am probably one of the very few people in this world who think Soft's version of It's Complicated, its V1, was better than its V2. You're probably wondering, why would I think that? Well, I can say that in 2 words. Sayori Remix. I mean it. The Sayori remix for It's Complicated is beautiful, especially since Starry Blue worked on this one. Well, I guess the same could also be said with Paper Kitty and Beethoven, but we've already went through that song. I mean, seriously, this song is just so beautiful in every single aspect. The instrumental feels incredibly sad and happy, something that fits Sayori perfectly. It's like Rain Clouds, Stagnant, and My Confession instrumental all tied together and made into one beautiful combination. There's not a single melody here I dislike, and Sayori's chromatic is used very well. I like how quick it sounds, which feels like it was made for Sayori. Not too fast, but not too slow either. Perfect combination. So why is this one ranking higher? Well, you see, I don't know. I really don't. Again, when choosing the top 10, it was incredibly difficult to put all these songs up against each other, and it broke my heart to put some of these songs lower. Especially this one, because while I do love the song, it has no flaws. The remaining 7, well, some of them have a few tiny flaws. Their positives outweigh their negatives, and they do outweigh It's Complicated by a tiny little bit. Which, again, I want to put this one higher, but everything else, sadly, just was better at the end of the day. That's not saying I hate this song, and it has grown on me quite a bit, because in the past, this was my least favorite of the festival. While it's still not my favorite, it is now an SS, and you have to admit, it really rose all above. I love this song, but not my favorite.
What is it?
A deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix.
Glitcher! Monica Mix! This one's actually incredibly well done. It's a huge step up from its V1. Its V1 was so bad. Monica's voice was not tuned right, and I hated that boyfriend chromatic that they gave him. But with V2, they fixed everything. It sounds beautiful. Let's start with the instrumental. The best part of the entire song. I love how it sounds. I can't help it. I'm a sucker for Hex's instrumentals. And I think this fits Monica beautifully. It's a perfect fit for her. Well, that being said, every single festival song was a fit for the Doki. And even the pixelated section. This sounded so bad in V1 with Monica's chromatic just being awful. I had no interest in the slightest. And all the melodies, especially Monty's hold notes, they all just sound so good. There is not a single bad point in this entire song. So why isn't it higher? Well, I don't have an issue, but I do have a tiny little thing I wish was the case. You see, in V1, yeah, I know I dissed that boyfriend chromatic, but I will admit I did like how it sounded in the pixelated section, and I'm a little disappointed they didn't take that route, because boyfriend's chromatic isn't really changed up when he's in the pixelated section, which I guess kind of makes sense. It's slightly altered, but not enough to notice the distinguishable difference on a first listen. It takes a bit. But other than that, other than the thing I wished was there, this song is flawless. Beautiful. So close to top 5, but top 5 are all just better. I really want this one higher. I do, but I sadly I cannot. I am sorry. Home is actually so beautiful. In my eyes, this fits the bad ending characters perfectly. Even better than the one we've yet to talk about yet. I think Home captures it beautifully. Especially in this first section. It's beautiful. It makes you think everything's gonna be perfect again. But then you realize, no, it's not gonna be perfect. This isn't perfect. This is a nightmare. And then we get into an absolutely fire section. This is, in my eyes, Natsuki's best usage of her chromatic. I know we've got 2 more songs left with her, but this is the best usage of it. And I think it pairs really well with the instrumental. And right after the small section, the song kicks up steam even more, and I'm dancing. It's just, the melodies are all so fire. They're really, really good. There's not a single melody here I dislike. Everything is just so incredible and beautiful. Like, I literally cannot even think of a single negative of this entire song. Like, it's just that freaking good. So why? Why isn't it in the top 5? The top 5 were just a slightly better. Again, it's so hard to choose between the remaining 6, but at the end of the day, Home was the weakest of the 6, and while I do love it, I have a teeny nitpick. Similar to Stagnant, I think the first half, well, it's amazing, it's not as amazing as the second half, which is actually perfect. In my eyes, Home's second half is better than the best song from this entire mod. And they can do this energy the entire way through. I would totally put this one at number 1. But I just couldn't, you know. The first half was, while it was strong, it was not as strong as the second half, and that is unfortunately why I'm ranking the song at number 6 and not anything higher, because the remaining 5 stayed consistently good the entire way through and had, like, no problems. I mean, at the top 5 have actually no flaws in the slightest, and that actually surprises me. And then we get into this beautiful ending with all of the Dokis and Boyfriend singing one final time. It is so beautiful, and it really tugs at the heartstrings too, because you want to help them, but you can't. They're broken, shattered. Without Monica, they can't live. Their code is broken, and this is unfortunately the end of their story. And oh, it's just so beautiful. I love Home. While not top 5, it is still an incredible song, and I love it all the much.
Her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her ears were cut off. Her tongue was cut off. Her nose was cut off.
You know, when it comes to the bad ending songs, Home and Markov are always neck and neck. I mean that. These two fight for which is better so often that I have to sit my butt down and listen to each song for 15 minutes for both songs to determine which is better. And you know what? It took me half an hour to figure out which one I preferred more for this video. At the end of the day though, I did end up choosing Markov over Home, solely because I think Markov is just more consistently well done. While Home had a much better second half, its first half lacked a bit, something Markov does not do. Markov has just beautiful everything. I mean that. From its instrumental to its melodies to Yuri's chromatic, it's all beautiful. Let's start with Yuri's chromatic. It's a bit fast, but it's not as bad as it was in Catfight. I think this fits Yuri. And it's not ridiculously slow like how it was in Obsession, so I can bypass it. I think it's probably not the best use of her chromatic, but definitely one of the best. There's one other. And then there's the part where Yuri shows her face. That part's just really good all around, and I love it the entire way through, on both usages too. And it's just this, it's properly creepy. In my eyes, Markov is the creepiest of the bad ending songs. Like, I don't know why, but this one actually scared me a bit when I first saw it. And that's not a joke. I was actually kind of scared when I first saw Markov all those years ago. And then we have the little transition phase. This part's beautiful. I wouldn't call it my favorite, but I definitely call it a close second. And then we see Girlfriend's second fate. Her eye phase, that's what to call it. This part just absolutely slaps. It's just that darn good. But that's nothing compared to how beautiful this ending sounds. This ending is so beautiful. This song is perfect. No issues whatsoever. Easy pick for the top 5. I just want to put it any higher than what it is. When this mod first came out 2 years ago, Your Demise was the only song I listened to for a week. That's not saying the mod was bad. No, that's just saying how much I loved this song. And I still love it. While part of my enjoyment has waned a bit, all of my love for it is still there. This is such an improvement from V1. V1 was unbelievably close to a G tier. It hurts. But V2 is perfect in every sense of the way. Monika's chromatic, it's similar to like Yuri's and Markov. It's not too fast. It's the perfect speed, which fits so well with her pixelated form. Boyfriend also sounds beautiful in this song. I love all of his performances. And all the melodies are beautiful and
clean. They took all the slow, boring melodies from V1, added some new ones, enhanced the old ones, and they gave us this masterpiece. The instrumental is also beautiful. I think it perfectly fits a mutilated version of Thorns, and with its own Doki Doki charm. So, if I love this song so much, why isn't it the top 3? It bugs me because I want to put this one in the top 3. I really, really do. But, unfortunately, by the tiniest amount, the top 3 were slightly better than your Demise. I want to put your Demise in the top 3. Again, I do. But the remaining 3 were all just beautiful. They were all perfect. And while this one, yes, is also perfect, I couldn't. And you know, it frustrates because I do love this song still to pieces, but again, just was not making it to the top 3. Our harmony. The first of the top 3, and while it pains me to put this one in 3rd and not any higher, that doesn't mean I don't love this song. No, I adore this song to pieces. Everything here clicks into place, and it is just beautiful and clean. Let's start with the chromatics. Monica sounds beautiful. It's not the chromatic that was used in Joyride and Hot Air Balloon, which is a tiny bit of a shame, but it's not awful, and I do like her default chromatic. So Yuri sounds perfect here, even better than she did in Joyride. This is easily the second best use of her chromatic. Not the best, but second best. And then there's Yuri and Natsuki. And I'll be completely honest, I think Natsuki is overshadowing Yuri in screen time. I feel like Yuri barely gets any screen time, which I guess makes sense. She is the timid one of the 4, while Natsuki is the most aggressive, so I guess I can give it a slight pass. It doesn't bug me, but I just wish Yuri got a bit more screen time. The melodies are all beautiful, by the way. I'm with that clear right now. I love all of the melodies, and there's not a single one that is not incredible. The instrumental is, in my eyes, just as good. Okay, now it's not just as good, it's a little weaker, but it's still a beautiful instrumental. There is nothing I would change about this song except maybe make Natsuki a little less screen time and have Yuri have to sing a bit more, but other than that, this song is perfect. And just when you think the song can't get any better, then the lyrics happen. The lyrics are actually beautiful. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I am, these were the thing that got lyrics in FNF started fully. I don't say fully, they really got the train of lyrics started, and I love that. Those sound beautiful, and they end this week off on a perfect note. Oh jeez, I love our harmony.
All this time I would wait for a
chance to be with you. Sing a tune with me and let's reach for the clouds in a balloon. The sky knows no bounds, your hand in mine, fates intertwined. Through the dark, my voice will be your light. Take the lead, your melody is all I need. Have no fear, let the world feel our harmony.
So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars.
And here it is, the big finale of the mod. Takeover Medley. This is, unironically, the best finale song I think I've ever heard in an FNF mod. Yes, I think this is better than All Stars and Followed and Triple Trouble and all those other finale songs. I think Takeover Medley left them all in the dirt. Everything about this song is amazing. Even the weakest section, which is the first phase, is amazing. I think it's cool that every single composer of the song, except Matt and Money, worked on this song, at least a specific phase. The first phase is amazing, I've already said it. I like how Monica and Senpai sound. This is probably Senpai's second best usage of the mod. Probably the first being Wilted, but this is a really close second. And the instrumental is good throughout this entire phase. It's beautiful. Then we get into Sayori's phase. Sayori's phase is where we go from amazing to incredible right off the bat. Like, yeah, not even a question. I love Sayori's phase. Best use of her chromatic right here. The instrumental is super bouncy and happy. I swear, it's another joyride circumstance. And it just sounds beautiful. All the melodies here are just clean. There's not a single one I dislike, especially when Sayori does her hold notes at the end. It's all so beautiful. And then we get into what is, against my better judgment and much to my own surprise, the best phase in the entire song. Yes, I think Natsuki has the best phase. This is, again, one of the best uses for chromatic. Not quite as good as it was in Home, but it's still beautiful. This is like a constant duet between her and BF. And if you remember from My Sweets, I loved it when these two did their duet. It was so beautiful and perfect, and it's just My Sweets again, but even better. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's the best part of this entire song, and we're not even halfway done with it yet. It's incredible. It's the most incredible thing here, and while the rest of the song is incredible, it does not compare to Natsuki's phase. And then we get into Yuri's section. Okay, Yuri's section's a close second, which I love it. I think it's not better than Natsuki's phase, but it's really close. I think the fact they're taking a slower path with Yuri fits. I think it works very well with how Yuri is characterized in Friday Night Funkin' and in Doki Doki Literature Club. And then with the part where it slowly starts ramping up with the instrumental, that's kind of creepy, and the first time I heard it, it actually gave me shivers. Like, Yuri's Yandere side works really well here, and I think it captures it properly. It's not as good as it was in Markov, but it's better than it was when it was in Obsession, and I think it works pretty well here. And then we get into MC's phase. I don't hate MC's phase, I just think it was kind of boring. Now I think it's just incredible, so easy step up. I think his chromatic is probably the best of the entire mod. I like how it's utilized, and I especially love the instrumental. I think it's flawless at this point. Probably the best use of the entire instrumental in the entire song. Not even a question. It's just so good. Not a
single thing wrong with MC's section. I guess it's kind of short, but that's not a huge problem. And then we get into the final section of the entire song, Monica's section. Monica sounds really good here. Probably the best usage, well, not the best, but one of the best uses for entire chromatic in this entire mod. It just sounds beautiful and clean, and it's perfect. I love it, and it ends the song on a perfect note. I want to put this one in first. I do. However, I think there was one song from this OST, one song that I slightly prefer. And believe me, it was close, because for the longest time, Takeover Medley was my favorite of the mod. It was for so long. Now, if I don't have anything negative to say, I would say it's a missed potential for Girlfriend not singing, but I can make an exception because she sings in the song right afterwards in Love and Funkin', so I'll make an exception for that. Still, I love the song. Pieces. It's just that beautiful and the perfect ending to this entire mod. That's how flawless it is. Well, here it is. The end of the road. The final entry. But what could be left? We've already talked about a lot of the big songs in the mod. And before we go any further, I wanted to tell you guys something interesting. A bit ago, I went onto a Discord server that was full of Doki Doki Takeover fans, and I asked them what their favorite song was. Lots of people said Wilted. Lots of people said You and Me. There was a lot of Shrinking Violet, a lot of Epiphany, and a lot of other songs that I could totally see being in first place for them. However, there was one song nobody seemed to talk about. Like, at all. And that actually shocked me when I first saw that, because I was expecting at least one person to talk about this song, but no, nobody talked about this song. Now, if you've been paying attention to all the songs, then you should know what this song is. The song that I am referring to is Crucify Yuri Mix. I mean it. Nobody talks about this song. And I don't get it. I really do not get why nobody talks about Crucify Yuri Mix. It is beautiful in every sense of the way. Let's start with Yuri's chromatic. Best usage right here. And Yuri's already got my favorite chromatic, so that's even better.
The instrumental is chilling. I mean, this instrumental gives me chills whenever I listen to it. It is beautiful. The slight echo on Boyfriend's chromatic that pairs the instrumental is also super well done. I mean that. It's handled incredibly, and that pairs so well with the instrumental, which it just is so beautiful. I've said this enough times, you know, if the instrumental is this good, all of the melodies are even better. They're all perfect. They're beautiful. There's not a single melody I do not think is less than incredible. Every melody here has got me dancing. And I don't get it. Why does nobody talk about this song? I seriously, I don't understand it. There is not a single flaw with this song that I can think of. If you want to think of an issue, I will fight you. There is no issues with this song. It's handled so well. And it didn't even get an upgrade from V1. Which, this is my favorite song in V1 too. Yeah, no, Epiphany could go crawl in a hole and die. Because this one ran circles around the big one of V1. And it wasn't even close. I want to talk about the song more, but I'm basically out of things to say other than the fact that I just love this song. And seriously, this is what made the festival week the best week in all of Friday Night Funkin' mods. And yeah, you want to fight with that? Yeah, come on, let's go, boys. I'll take you all on.
And with that, we have finished Friday Night Funkin' Doki Doki Takeover Plus. Oh, this mod was really, really fun to rank. I loved talking about this mod. This is probably, I'm going to toot my horn, this is probably my magnum opus of the channel, and I'm really proud of how it came out. All 41 songs have been discussed, and hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Hello everyone, it's Indie Skits. Uh-huh. What do you want to talk about another song? We're out of songs. What do you mean you hit a song in when you did Wilted? What do you think you're doing? Wait, what's going on? No, no, no!
Three, two, one, go!
Little does Sailor know that when I sent my section, I actually hid this in it too. And I really hope she doesn't mind me putting this in, and because please, I want to talk about my streets so bad, Sailor. Keep this in the video, please. Anyway, My Streets, an absolutely phenomenal remix of overall okay song. It's insane how much of an upgrade this song is. It makes me want a full DDLC Plus, or however you pronounce it, I don't really care, D-sides, because oh my god, this is such an insane improvement. It is such a vibe, man. Natsuki sounds incredible. BF sounds pretty good too. The instrumental is like amazing and goes super hard at some points. And my god, this art is amazing. I'm pretty sure this is on top of the school itself. Natsuki's little graffiti art is so cool. GF looks adorable. Natsuki's design is amazing. The song is just so phenomenal. It doesn't have like Street Fighter-esque music vibes, but it does have just fight vibes in general though. This does fit Natsuki very well. And overall, this is just a phenomenal remix. Well, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just they're a rockin' song that just combines everything good about fighting games and stuff. Makes this just a perfect song. It's an SS tier. I love it. And I am so glad that I got to talk about it. Thank you, Turtle. I'm not doing it in weekly. No, I'm not doing it. You can't make me anyway. See you guys. Bye.
With that final entry from Skits, we have finally, truly completed this mod. This mod's really gone through a lot for me. Even back when it was just V1, I still had quite a bit of interest in it. Yeah, sure, week 1 sucked, but everything else was pretty good to say the least. The only other kind of bad song I thought at the time was a bit of Epiphany, but other than that, everything else was beautiful. And then when we got an update, it took everything I hated and it just made it beautiful with adding a couple new songs that were just so beautiful and perfect. And yeah, while this mod does have a tiny bit of negativity, at the time of recording this, both Dual Demise and Constricted are slowly starting to get better. In fact, look at the two comparisons of these tier lists. You can just see how well this mod has aged over the years. It's beautiful and perfect, and I could not ask for anything more. This mod does something unique too. It doesn't give us a bunch of characters, it gives us a small cast of characters that we know, and they always seem to adjust the song to make it fit the characters, while just making every song feel unique. And that's what I love about this mod. They're not just throwing in a bunch of characters, they're just giving us a small cast, which is just so smart of them. Now, with that out of the way, what's next to rank? Well, I'm probably going to rank Versus Imposter Alternated Demo 2 next. I was actually going to rank Demo 1 in the future, but then its update happened, and then I feel like I had to rank that. So, yeah, Versus Imposter Alternated Demo 2 is next on my list. I'll see you all then. Have a great day.